Welcome back to Jamencast. I got a great podcast for you today. We got Frostywind. That's the interview this week. Super excited to talk to this man. He's a great Heroes of the Storm streamer. Good friend. He's a really nice guy. It was a great talking to him. It really was a fantastic moment. Just having that time to talk to him and get a little insight into who he is and what makes him tick and what day to day and what week to week he does. So check out that. And then we also have the What's News section. Just checking that out, seeing what's going on in the world of video games. So if you're interested in video games and hearing about people that play video games, stick it out. Here we go. Jaman, yeah, Jaman. I hope you like a Jaman too. What's news, everybody? This is Jamencast. We're going to be checking out all the news going on this week in the video game industry and video games that I've been interested in. So the first one I want to discuss is the beautiful, the ever great, the amazing World of Warcraft. Blizzard released a poll, and the poll asked, are you aware that the maximum level of 120 will be reduced in the future, i.e. level squish? And then they asked, the, quote, level squish, unquote, will reduce the total number of levels required to access the most current game content. The new level cap will be dramatically lower than the current level cap of 120. And then the question is, how much would you like or dislike a reduction in total character levels? For me, I don't really care. I don't have an opinion really either way. My real opinion is that it doesn't matter. That you're just a shuffle game. You're just taking numbers and you're moving them around in order to make things look more appealing or less appealing depending on what you want. There are people that want to be 120. They want to be 130 because they want that big number next to their name. And then there are people that want to be 60 because they want a simple number to look at. To me, it doesn't matter. It's a non-issue. It's a thing that's happening. It's an interesting thing for sure. It's a lot of moving parts if you do this. And is that worth it? Is that a worthy thing to do? Is that what they should be focusing on? Simplifying the game? Making it easier for the data to be read for the game? Like, what's the reasoning behind doing this level squish? Is it really just an aesthetic thing? Is there systems engineering that needs to be done because of this? Is the numbers getting too high? Because they do a squish on stats and they do a squish on other things every expansion, but a level squish itself is almost just a visual display thing. Is that something you need for a systems engineer for the game? So that's what's going on with that level squish. That's an interesting thing. And then Rise of Ashara, the new patch for the retail World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth patch, got an announcement date. June 25th is when it's coming out. June 18th is when they posted the videos and the announcement. But alongside the trailer for Rise of Ashara, which looks interesting, it's fine. It's retail. It's exciting to see these new stuff coming up. Flying being added is, again, to me, a mistake. And I say again as if you guys understand this, but to me, I think they shouldn't add flying to anything going forward. They should just have it as something in the past that we did. It annoys me to the flight, like some of the world PvP I've had on Battle for Azeroth and retail during these invasions or whatever they're called, when you're assaults, on the enemy areas or on Zandalar, have been really great because people aren't able to fly away. They can just go to a flight vent guy and take a flight path, but they can't just jump on and off their mounts and fly in and kill someone and then fly away. So for PvP, I really don't like flying mounts. I don't think they're a good addition to the game. I think they're okay for if you have to get somewhere interesting, like in Burning Crusade, there were places you couldn't go without a flying mount. And it's interesting like that to unlock something that way. But to add them to flying into the game again for Battle for Azeroth, I actually think it's a mistake. If there's nothing in the game you need to fly to, then flying shouldn't be allowed. But it's fine. It's fun. It's an enjoyable thing to get. It is fun to fly around and not have to worry about all that other stuff, traversing these things that you've been traversing forever. So Ian Hazacostas, I hope I said that name right. He had a video come out, and it has a bunch of discussion and points he wants to make for World of Warcraft, for how they're going forward. They talked about reward and design philosophies. They talked about gear reward scaling, gear and character progression. They talked about PvP gear crossover into PvE. They talked about class design, and they talked about World of Warcraft Classic. I think the thing that really stuck out to me the most from all of this is their idea that class pruning may have gone too far. They talked about the fact that a lot of abilities they removed might have been too much. They were taking away buttons because they thought that too many buttons equals complexity, and too much complexity is bad. While too much complexity can be bad, too many buttons does not equal that, right? On Classic Shaman, there are a ton of totems. Tons of totems. It's, I guess, complicated, complex, but not really. It's, you choose the one that you need the best for this situation, and there's an enjoyment in that ability to being able to do that. And the examples he gave was the mage ability time loop, time warp, time something, where you would go back in time 15 seconds. Basically, you activate it, and then after whenever you activate it again, or 15 seconds, you return to the health, and you get all you clear your debuffs, all that stuff. It was an interesting ability, allowed you for some real interesting gameplay mechanics, but they removed it because it was too complex. That was his example. His other example was warrior stances. And honestly, this one is big to me, because when you remove warrior stances, you remove some of the class identity of warriors. This whole idea that you could, shift into battle stance to pummel, or you have to be in certain stances to use certain abilities. Removing that removes some of the flavor of the class, some of the identity of the class. You now become a rogue that uses rage, right? Or a paladin that uses rage and not mana. You lose some of that special, beautiful sauce that was a World of Warcraft warrior with stances. And it's been that way for a while. And he talks about the fact that it would be really difficult to add them back in, because all these people that have been playing for so long do not have the ability, or it would confuse them to have warrior stances. They'd be like, why can't I use my abilities now? Because they've been playing for so long a certain way, and they don't want to upset those warriors. And maybe they're right. As developers, they shouldn't have to upset the people who play warrior since stances have been gone, and then adding stances and telling them, well, your character is now more complicated and more difficult, and deal with it. Which is something I kind of wish they would do. I don't think they will, because they're probably right that their subscribers, or whatever metric they're measuring, what would cause it to be bad, would go down, or it would display as bad. But honestly, I think they should just add the stances back in. I think they should just put them right back and say, deal with it and figure it out. Because people are not dumb. Players are not dumb. There are dumb people, there are dumb players. But people who want to play warrior and battle stance and defensive stance and berserker stance, I think those were interesting choices and interesting things to do. And to take them out was a mistake. Putting them back would not be a mistake. It would be good. It would be good for the game. It would be good for warriors to have that identity again, and to give them some band-aid fix, some small ability that, pop this cooldown, you can no longer use your other abilities for 15 seconds, but you do more damage or something. I don't like that idea. Them thematically adding a new ability to replace the feeling of the old abilities. Just add the old ones. Just put them back. Just put them back. Don't worry about it. Don't do a big giant poll and survey and see who. Just put them back in. Do what's good for fun for the game, right? Don't worry about what it's going to do to the current player, but just make a good game. Make it fun. Make it enjoyable. And I think stances are one of those things that it was interesting and fun. There was macros, and you got to display your skill with your character if you were able to correctly navigate your stances. It was a good time. And then they talked about, all the things that, like, he talked about the new essence thing you can unlock, whatever it is, and then how it's going to be a major choice and you won't have to replace it and all this, and like, but Battle for Azeroth is not going to last forever. There's going to be another expansion. I guarantee you at this BlizzCon they'll announce the next expansion. That's what they're planning on. There can't be that much more content left for Battle for Azeroth. So everything that they're talking about, I mean, they're unlocking flying. How long does flying last in expansion before the next one comes out, A year? There's not much time left. Battle for Azeroth is on its final days, right? It's on its final legs. And then Classic comes out. So no one's going to be playing it anyway. I guess people will. Depends. Okay. So that's enough World of Warcraft news. That's enough World of Warcraft stuff. Let's talk about Jedi Fallen Order. So, the Giant Beast Cast, episode 212, around 17 minutes in. Go listen to these guys if you haven't. But they started talking about Jedi Fallen Order and meeting one of the developers and talking to them on stage or talking to them backstage on E3 at one of the booths or whatever it is. And they say that Metroid is kind of inspiring Jedi Fallen Order's travel mechanics and the way you go through your levels. And the idea that you go somewhere, you beat the level, or you go through the level, and you unlock something that allows you to go to a different level and unlock a new area in a different level. But then that new area, or the new level that you went to, unlocks a new power-up, a new something, that says go back to the first place. And there's a new area you can get to because you have this other new power-up, new thing. And that's how it works for every area. And you don't have to go, there's no specific linear progression to the worlds. You can go anywhere you want. And you unlock abilities that unlock new things in old areas, or just areas you haven't visited yet either. So it's kind of that Metroid-style levels. And then the other thing they mentioned, that there are, quote, meditation points, unquote, and that when you rest at them, all the enemies respawn, a.k.a. a bonfire mechanic from Dark Souls. When you rest at the bonfire in Dark Souls, all the enemies respawn. You have to go beat them again to get to the next bonfire. Because that's the real goal, is to get to the next bonfire, to get to the next bonfire, to get to the next bonfire. And so these meditation points look like that. Very interesting mechanic. And then the other thing they mentioned is that enemies have a Sekiro-like block bar, and you could see this in the video gameplay, and a health bar. And if you deplete their block bar, you get a nice big critical blow you get to do against them. And against small enemies, it's a kill. But against big enemies, maybe not so much. Maybe you have to do one or two of those to kill them. So Jedi Fallen Order, taking a lot of inspiration from other games. I don't know if I'm going to like it. It's going to be an interesting game for sure. I'm probably going to pick it up as long as nothing comes out that makes me not dislike it. But it looks good. I mean, I want to play as a Jedi. I want to play a single-player game, and unlocking RPG traits, that's like my favorite thing. And the other one trailer that I saw this week that I think got me excited was Luigi's Mansion 3. I haven't played a Luigi's Mansion game. So seeing Luigi's Mansion 3 was a very interesting experience. Seeing the trailer for it. I can't wait to play it. I'm getting a really good Ghostbuster vibe from it. I really like the whole idea. I just didn't have a GameCube, I think the original came out on. And then I never had a Wii. Was that what the second one came out on? I don't remember. Or was it a 3DS? I have a 3DS, but I never played Luigi's Mansion or Luigi's Mansion 2, which I think was called Hotel or something like that. One thing they did show off in the trailer is that he has an ability that he releases a gust of wind that he uses to push enemies back. But he also uses it to leap in the air slightly. And that allows him to leap over obstacles and things. Like there was a rug being, a curl in a rug was being pushed across the ground, and he had to leap over it. But I was confused because I thought Luigi could jump, but apparently, gameplay mechanics outweigh the idea of what they've done before in the past. Because, Luigi can jump higher than Mario in most games that he's in. But it's all right. You understand. It makes sense. It makes sense what they're doing with Luigi and what they're doing. Why he can't jump and stuff. It's honestly, it makes the game better, right? And that's just what I was talking about with warrior stances. Do the thing that makes the game better. Don't do it because it's something. Don't do it for no reason, basically. All right, and then the next thing I want to talk about is the UK and Parliament. EA was at a hearing in the UK, in Commons, and they asked for Digital Culture, Media, and Sport Committee. That's what this committee was about. It was on Wednesday, the 19th of June, 2019. The meeting started at 2:29 p.m. and ended at 5:10 p.m. So it was quite a long meeting. It was 3-something hours. And EA said, and this is their spokesperson in their, talking, that they're not loot boxes. Loot boxes are not in their games. They call them surprise mechanics. And this is now infamous. Almost immediately it was infamous in this idea that they're not putting loot boxes, quote unquote, in their game. But everything in their games is consistent with that. It's the idea that you spend money, you get more. And the more money you spend, the more you get. But you don't know exactly what you're getting. You're just hoping for something, right? You get something, and they tried to, pass it off as like the Kinder eggs or whatever. Surprise eggs. It's the same thing, right? No, it's not. Those eggs are garbage. You're getting a garbage toy inside a garbage chocolate. You're not getting something for the game you play that you've already spent money on. It's not like you went and bought a vending machine and then now you have to pay the vending machine for all of the goods inside it. That's what these loot boxes and, quote, surprise mechanics, unquote, are. Is you're buying a vending machine and then you have to pay for everything inside the vending machine that you already purchased with the vending machine. I don't want to buy a vending machine. I just want to buy a game. And then I want whatever goodies and things that are supposed to be added to it. I can pay for those. I'll pay for them if you really want to do that. But don't make it a thing that I pay for and then I might get something, because I'm not interested in that. I don't want to buy that. And it sucks because there are people that will. And so this is why they do it, right? They wouldn't do it if it didn't make them money. And it must make them tons of money. I played Heroes of the Storm. I still do. And I bought so much in that game. I even spent I've bought twice. I've bought the 360-day boost. Because it was on sale. And I was like, I can afford this. What is it, $50 now for a 360-day boost? It's a complete nonsensical thing. It doesn't do anything for me in real life. But I felt like I should support the developer. And maybe that's a weird way to think. Maybe that's a weird way for people to digest something. But I loved Heroes so much. And I could feel it that it wasn't doing as well as they had hoped. You could sense it and so I wanted to somehow support it, to say thank you for this beautiful game that I really love. I guess that's how it goes in Twitch, right? Like, you support your Twitch streamer that you like. What they do, if they do something interesting, you give them a little bit of money saying thank you for your service. Thank you for this. Because nobody else is doing this. What you do is great. Thank you so much. So that's what it was for me, for the game, for giving it to a company. Heroes was that game. And they abused it. So I'm not so happy about that. But the whole idea, and EA is really bad with this. And these people, it's honestly despicable if you watch this. They're just it's frustrating watching it, because all they're doing is skirting around questions and not answering and not taking any responsibility for the things that loot boxes and this money grabbing thing is doing. They never said it was ethical. They never said that, but they said it wasn't not unethical. They said it was ridiculous. It's not unethical. Is it ethical? No. Well, it's not unethical. Who talks like that? Just be straight. And to the moderators credit, the people running it, they did a really good job of keeping them, and saying, no, I'm pretty sure I can tell you you're lying, basically. They were saying, you're messing with us. Like, you're not answering the questions. We know you know the answers. Just give us the answers. If you don't want to, it's fine. It was just a hearing. It wasn't like a legal proceeding. They weren't under oath or they weren't being charged with anything, right? They weren't going to go to prison for anything. It was just a hearing, a committee to understand these mechanics and all these things that these companies are putting into their games. And these people were just slime balls, honestly. It was disgusting to watch. It really was. So it was the Digital Culture, Media, and Sport Committee, and it happened on Wednesday, 19 June 2019. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think it is a 3 or 4 hour audio video track, and you can go through it. I'm sure you'll find highlights and scrubs on YouTube within this week if they're not already out. They're probably already out. All right, guys, that's the news for this week. We're going to be going over to my personal segment where I talk about my personal life and what I've been doing with video games this week. I hope you guys are excited because I'm excited, and I can't wait to share with you. Hey guys, welcome to this section. This is my personal life section. What's been going on this week? Let me tell you, all right? So I'm leveling Raoden. I unlocked the Zandalari trolls last week. I have a straight-backed, nice, beautiful troll. His name is Raoden. His name is taken from a Brandon Sanderson novel from Elantris, the main character from Elantris. If you haven't read any Brandon Sanderson, please go out and read it. Probably my favorite author. I want to say of all time, but I just found him last year, so I don't feel like I can yet give him that title. But I want to, because his books have been so amazing, honestly. I'm very excited about any time I hear about Brandon Sanderson. And I'm almost done with every novel that I can get my hands on that has his name on it. Anyway, leveling Raoden, and I'm not using any heirlooms. I felt like this was really important. Because heirlooms kind of remove the leveling part of the game from the game. And that's a big part of World of Warcraft is leveling up. And yes, if there was something I needed to rush to do at the top end game, I would use heirlooms. It would be exciting. But I don't need to rush to anything. I'm not in a raiding guild. I'm not really even in a 5-man dungeon guild. I'm not even in a guild. I'm in a guild, but it's kind of dead. It's from Legion, and all the people who were in it are no longer logging in. So there's like me and one other person who log in, and we talk to each other, if we even do that. Anyway, with no heirlooms, every quest reward and world drop has a potential to be an upgrade. It's super exciting. It really is. It's fun to look at a quest and go, ooh, look at this. Look at this item. This might be an upgrade for me. This might be something nice for me. I have a guy I met. His name is Tic Tac. He's a goblin rogue. He showed me that goblins can fit under a lot of things that giant trolls cannot. And this whole idea of, while I'm leveling, focusing on social interaction with people, it's creating a good feedback loop for me. Like, instead of running to the next objective and running to the next quest, if there's a person next to me, I stop and try to say hello, see how they're doing, see what's going on. Most of the time, they just run by. Once in a while, they'll stop and talk. They'll say something, hey, what's going on? Or if someone's doing a quest right next to me, it's the same quest. We don't have a reason to group up. But I'll try to group up with them. Like, hey, do you want to group up? Do you want to do this together? And usually it's no, or someone will ignore me, or they'll just move on. But the people that do talk to you, the people that do give you that social interaction, it makes the game way better. It gives you a reason why you're playing World of Warcraft, right? Why don't I just go play a single-player RPG? Because of the people. Because of the people. That's why you play an MMO. And so it's been fun. So Tic Tac's been really good. Talking to him. He's got his goblin rogue. And, I'm not really focusing on getting the next level. I'm not focusing on getting the next reputation quote. I'm focused on every day what I'm doing that moment. And it's really good. Focusing on the moment. It's almost like therapy. It's almost like something a person said be mindful would say. Focus on the current moment, not the next step, what comes after. Focus on right now. And so it's been good. Try it out. Try out leveling and not using heirlooms and just focusing on the leveling and not really not the leveling itself. Because it's going to happen no matter what you do. You kill a mob, you get some XP. You do a quest, you get some XP. At some point, you will level up no matter what you do. If you just run around the world not killing anything, you will level up. Eventually, you'll die because you get to mobs that are too difficult for you. But the level scaling, it'll take a lot longer than it used to do. But it's been good. That's been really interesting. Rayoden's been fun to play. The one thing that did annoy me about Rayoden was I just hit level 40. And now I have this Maelstrom weapon ability. That's a passive ability for shamans, enhancement shamans, that gives you Maelstrom when you auto-attack and on your Wind Fury procs. I am constantly maxed out on Wind Fury or on Maelstrom now. It's constantly coming in. As before, it was very understood. I understood exactly when I was getting my Maelstrom. It's whenever I used Rockbiter. But now I have this constant RNG of how much Maelstrom I have, and I do not want to cap, because capping is bad. Capping is bad. Capping is bad. Capping is bad. It lowers my damage if I cap. I lowered my DPS if I cap. And so I feel like I'm very much worried that my global cooldowns are a problem. Keeping my global cooldowns going is a real big deal now. Constantly using an ability. Constantly. If I don't have an ability, if my global cooldown is done, if I'm not casting anything, I am doing the wrong now. Because I need to be using my Maelstrom, or I need to be using an ability that's coming off cooldown immediately. Every global cooldown matters. And I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I enjoy that. No, I do know. I don't enjoy that. I don't like it. I think there are some benefits to it in how you balance out the top end game PvE content, in that you know how much damage a perfect player will do if you know. But I don't like the idea that I need to parse and run a simulation in order to understand where my gear will be better and how I can play better. I just want to play the game. I just want to enjoy it. I want to talk to other people. I want to work with other people to do something incredible. I don't want to have to. And then the other thing that I've noticed in World of Warcraft in the retail game is this Twitter functionality. I love it. It's awesome. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, by the way, it's @JaminTheShaman. It's fun to post things straight from the game. I know this has been in the game for quite a while, but you can link your Twitter account, and then you can tweet out screenshots, you can tweet out achievements, you can tweet out the newest gear piece you got, and it'll attach it to the tweet and send it out to your Twitter followers. It's really great. It's fantastic. I really enjoy it. Not only does it let me post to my Twitter and show people what I'm doing on my stream, but it also allows me to go back later and look and see what I did and have some accomplishment, some points, some understanding of what happened this week, what happened last week. I can look through all of my media on Twitter and go through a timeline almost of what things that were occurring at that time. It's been good. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. The Twitter functionality is actually pretty fun. It's interesting. World of Warcraft Classic had Alterac Valley Weekend. It also had their Classic stress test. The Alterac Valley Weekend was really fun to watch. I don't have Classic. But to see these long games, I never got to experience those. I'm looking forward to it. I think a lot of people were annoyed by it. They didn't like these games. I saw one game went for almost 8 hours, which is intense. That's an intense game. I don't know if I could hang out for 8 hours in a single game. But I do want to do it at some point. I want to experience that because I never got to. I heard about it. I want to summon things. I want to do the PvE, collect crap, and then summon a giant monster to go kill the enemies. Because you have 40 people versus 40 people in a choke point. You need something to break that stalemate. It feels a lot. That looks like Heroes, right? Getting the boss and then using a boss to push a lane. That sounds fun. And then the stress test. I got to play Classic WoW. I got to play it, boys. I got to play it. It was fun. It was amazing. It was obtuse. It was slow. It was awesome. It was repetitive. It was obtuse. It was slow. It was awesome. It was repetitive. It was obtuse. It was slow. It was awesome. It was repetitive. There was something beautiful about it, right? Yes, it got frustrating. Trying to get Makurura's eyes and Crawler Mucus's when everybody else in the game is in the same exact spot trying to get the same exact stuff. And then if you group up, only one of you gets it every 3 kills, right? So not only does it not drop on every kill, but if you group up because you want to all tag the mobs, you want a chance at that loot, the thing doles it out once every however many, you have 5 people in your group, you get every 5 mobs you get a chance at it because it gives it to one person each time. Holy cow, that took forever. That took a long freaking time. So looking at the leveling guides, I can see why they say go somewhere else. Don't go do that quest, especially when it's busy. I leveled Jamin. I think I got to 14. I didn't get all the way to 15. I didn't have time to play. I wanted to play so much more. But I couldn't. Jamin got talent points. I think I got 5% more damage on my lightning bolts and my flame shocks by the time. I did my fire totem quest. That took way longer than it needed to. I think it took me like 2 hours to do because I didn't want to look up a guide. I just wanted to kind of remember how to do it. And it took me so long. I ran around the barrens in the wrong direction, got killed by some raptors that were higher level than me because I wasn't ready to fight them. Got killed by something else, I don't even know. Ran to the wrong cave, to the cave near Orgrimmar with the cultists in it. Those are not the right cultists. You have to go to the cave above Razor Hill, which is a little bit farther south, above the canyon. But I completely forgot that cave exists. And then I did an RFC run. I joined a group called the Bone Squad. I think I joined Bone Squad. That was the guild. They were all undead, but they invited my troll butt into their guild. They welcomed me with terrible puns and adult humor. And by adult humor, I mean sophomoric humor. But it was good. It was fun. I did RFC. It was kind of a slog, actually. That was probably the low point for me, was doing RFC. Because I didn't know any of these people. No one was talking to me because they were all in Discord with each other. And the only time they talked to me is when they got mad about a sheep breaking. But I don't think they understood that sheep doesn't work the way it does in retail. You can't just sheep something and then leave it. Every second it has a chance to resist and pop out and break out early. Especially when you're lower level than it. So, when you're CCing something like a sheep, nobody might hit it. It might just break out early. I just want you to know that. If you're listening, it wasn't me. I wasn't hitting your sheep. Honestly, check my VOD. Go watch Twitch. The sheeps break out early, okay? It's a resist thing. It's every tick they have a chance to resist. I think he figured it out by the end of the run that no one was breaking his sheeps, but during the run it was like, okay, we get it, dude. No one's breaking it. The another thing that happened this week that I thought was less news and more my speed was Jablinski Games. They did an E3 panel last week. That was last week. I love Jablinski Games. If you haven't seen the YouTube channel Jablinski Games, you'll go check it out. It's Jack Black. But he got to talk about, his sons and this whole idea that they were making a YouTube channel, and he posted this one video of him popping back on a chair, and it blew up, exploded. It had taken him years to build a small following on their Tenacious D YouTube channel, and then in a moment like that, Jablinski Games was a thing. And then I think he said by the 4th, 5th, 6th episode, whatever it was, his son started taking more of a backseat. His son was editing every video and, posting it and uploading them, but it just became too big. It was too much work, and he was sacrificing his school to do this work, and it wasn't a good idea. So now it's, they hired someone to help Jack Black do this. And I'm excited. I love the videos. I watch them every Friday. The other thing to talk about is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel trailer. I feel like I didn't do it enough justice last week. I just started talking about Breath of the Wild. But the sequel trailer has quite a bit of little nuances to it. So again, I said Majora's Mask is very exciting. I see a Majora's Mask style game coming out of this. Whether or not it is a time mechanic, a moon crashing to the ground, I don't know. None of that. But the idea that it's different from Breath of the Wild and that it's probably a different gameplay rhythm, gameplay mode. That's what I'm expecting. We got to see Ganon. We got to see like a zombie Ganon. He kind of looked like the zombie people that were at the end of every the shrines, the little shrines of challenges that were sprinkled throughout the world in Breath of the Wild. The monks floating there, different hands, postures. Ganon looked like that, a dehydrated Ganon. Long, beautiful, flowing hair or wrap around him. We're excited. I'm excited. You guys excited for Breath of the Wild? I am very excited for this sequel. I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to play it. And that's it. That's everything that happened for me this week. It was very short, very quick, very succinct. I'm trying to figure out a pacing for this still. You guys tell me what you think, all right? Tweet at me, Jamin the Shaman. Send me an email. Send me a message on YouTube, on Twitch. Get on my chat. Tell me what you think I should do. If you like it, if you don't, I want to know, man. I want to know what you think about this podcast. What could I do better? What can I do worse? What do you like? What do you not like? Please send it to me. Send it to me, okay? But let's get to the meat of the podcast. Let's get to this beautiful interview I had with Frostywind. I hope you guys enjoy this. I really enjoyed talking to him. He was a StarCraft 2 top 200 during Heart of the Swarm. He is a streamer on Twitch. He has over 700 followers. Please listen to this interview. Enjoy, because I had a great time talking to him. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jamincast. This is your host here, Jamin. I'm joined with a great Heroes streamer. If you guys like Heroes of the Storm, definitely check him out. But we're talking to Frostywind. How's it going, Frosty?
Pretty good, man. Just hanging out overall. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I really do. I honestly, I fist pumped the air when you said you would come on. I was like, yes, we got one. We got him. I was like, I was very excited.
Of course, I'd always make time.
Yeah, dude. And Heroes of the Storm, the game, man. That's, I feel, I don't know how you feel, but I feel a little bit abused by Blizzard for it. But how do you feel about? Let's talk about that. We start with that. How do you feel about how Heroes of the Storm has been in the last? Why still play it? What?
So the thing that happened is obviously they took down HGC, and that hurt a lot of people, and then bumped them pretty down. The thing about the game too is it's a good game. It's a very enjoyable game, but the way Blizzard handled it was really, really bad. They gave little to no notice to pro players or anybody working with the Blizzard developers about the shutdown. So a lot of people blame the Heroes developers, which they also kind of didn't have any fault in it because they didn't know either.
Yeah, they were just doing their jobs.
Exactly, and then people still pin it down on them. So I don't think that's fair. They didn't know either, and then it's just the short notice where it just made everything bad. If they would have said, hey, after this HGC, we won't have one next year, I think the whole thing would have been taking a lot better than for how they did it.
Being more transparent, having like an idea of, like, hey guys, listen, like we're spending $3 million a year on this and we're not making anything back that we were expecting. Like, it's just not a good investment. Like, that's fine. Like, that totally makes sense. But when you just pull the plug, it just really, it rubbed, it really was bad. How do you feel about Overwatch League? Because I talked to my friends about Overwatch League, and they're like, "Oh, it's great. It's going on forever. It's gonna keep going. It's Overwatch League. It's so good." And I'm like, "Well, I just feel like so personally, and tell me how you feel in a second. Excuse me. It just seems like here's HGC like on steroids. Like they were just like, hey, HGC, here's $3 million a year, and then they were like, Overwatch, here's $50 million a year, or whatever they're posting into it. I don't know. And it's like. For me, it scares me that it'll be even a bigger collapse than HGC.
So the thing with the Overwatch League, I'm not a big Overwatch fan, but I like watching it and I like playing it here and there. But I kind of feel like the same thing. If they handle it like they did with Heroes, it's gonna have a lot of backlash,
Yeah, and
and it's not a good way to deal with the situation.
there's probably a lot of Overwatch players or anyone
Hmm.
listening that plays Overwatch that
Yeah,
is very angry with me right now. Like Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch are not the same game. There's no way. I'm just saying anything with esports and Blizzard attached to it now. I'm very
yeah,
tentative. I'm just like it
yes, and
hurts.
that's
Like
fair.
yeah,
It is very fair because what they did with Heroes, it could happen to any other esports game that Blizzard owns,
mm,
and you're just afraid out of nowhere someone can just lose their job,
yeah. Why
and you
invest
don't
my
know that
time? Yeah, why invest my time?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Overwatch League, the same thing could happen, but there's also a possibility that Blizzard could learn from their mistakes and they can just give a notice as well. But the
Yeah,
Overwatch League is bigger and they invest more in it. So I believe that it'd have more of a chance to be more transparent than Heroes.
yeah.
But at the same time, like if they don't learn from what they did at Heroes, it might just go as bad.
Yeah, and I really do hope Overwatch League continues because I love esports. I love any kind of
Yeah.
esport. Just watching people play these
Yeah,
video games.
definitely.
I hope it does. I honestly don't have any ill will towards Overwatch League. I hope it does amazing.
Hmm.
For me, watching it, it's like kind of like watching a soccer match for me. I don't really know what's going on in soccer. I mean, I understand the point. I don't know the names of the positions. I don't know exactly what the rules are. I know there's some kind of time. There's like 80 minutes, and someone's keeping track of it. And there's like an estimated clock on the screen. It doesn't tell you because anyway. So yeah, so watching Overwatch is a lot like that for me. It's like I kind of get what's going on, but I don't really know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, it's just fun, the excitement and the crowd. It just
Yeah,
amps you up, and you just like watching it.
100%.
It
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
So what was the first game that you ever played that you realized video games were something special? Like, what was there's
Okay.
obviously a game you played, like, probably, like, the first game you ever played was, like, something, I don't know, like, putting a block in a hole,
Hmm.
that the correct shape blocks. But what was the first video game you played that
The
was
first,
really special?
the first video game where I found out that I started liking video games a lot. That's Super Smash Brothers for the N64.
Wow. Okay.
Starting there, I fell in love with playing games. It was so much fun. I invested so much time in that game. My mother even had to give me some time, told me, all right, you get 3 hours to play Smash, and that's it. Because I was so addicted to that game. It was so much fun, and I loved it.
Who did you make?
Um,
Who was your character that you
my
like?
main was Yoshi for a time,
You could just
and I used to play him in an N64. Yeah,
you
right
just jump
now,
above people and down B constantly.
exactly. I
Yeah.
loved it. And yeah, Smash Brothers for the N64 just sparked my interest in video games, and from there on, I started playing a lot more Mario games. Then the GameCube comes out. I like to play Sonic. Um, I like to play Mario Sunshine. All those different games were so much
Hmm.
fun to me.
Yeah,
That's where it started.
I remember the Dreamcast when Sonic Adventure came out on the Dreamcast, which
Hmm.
was apparently an awful system. I don't really remember. And
Yeah,
just playing that game, just straight through, just the whole game. Even though like people go back and say it's a terrible game, I'm like I just loved it. It was
yeah,
fun.
exactly. And
Uh,
my father, I think he bought us an SNES, and then my brother got into that. I wasn't really into gaming at the time because I was just too little. But then they got the N64, they got Smash, and that's when everything started.
yeah, wow. So are you playing the new Smash? Do you watch the
Oh,
streams of
I
people
am.
playing
I
Smash?
am. I love the new Smash right now. I love playing it. It's a fun game. I actually go to my friend's house every Saturday. It's the reason why I canceled my Saturday streams because we go over and we get a group of 5, 6 people and we just play Smash.
Oh my god, that sounds
So
amazing.
much.
Yeah, I
It's
have
a
it,
good
but
time.
I don't have anyone like nearby to play with. So I just kind of every once in a while get on and I'll just play against computers. But I
Hmm.
don't play against people, so it's just like it kind of loses its flavor. That sounds
Yeah,
amazing. Every
you
Saturday to go
definitely.
over.
Yeah, you definitely need a group of people to play with. And you need to find the right group of people to play with too, because you don't want to play with people who get really mad and upset.
Yeah,
And
they don't want to don't throw my Joy Cons, buddy. Like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So who do you play now? Who's your guy that if you okay? So who's your guy that you like to play, and then who's your like cheap guy that you're like I just got to win this game, so I'm gonna play this guy, or
So
is that the same
the
person?
guy I love to play right now is Greninja from the Pokemon series.
Okay.
He's a really fun character to play.
Is he really good at juggling people? Does he have good kill potential?
He's
Like, what's so great about
he's
him?
more of you go in there and then you are very fast and you attack really fast character.
Hmm.
You don't do much heavy damage, but you do a lot of like picks of damage over time,
Yeah,
and then you're just wearing your opponent out little by little and dodging their attacks and making sure that they can't hit you.
gotcha. Yeah, I know Sheik has been like when I think of fast characters that do a lot of damage, I think of Sheik,
Yeah,
but
she's also one.
I've heard that she's not that good in this new one because she just doesn't have any kill potential. Like none of her moves
Hmm.
actually have a kill percent.
Yeah, they ended up nerfing a lot of characters. In fact, I think last patch they nerfed one of my favorite characters as well that I used to play, who was Wolf. They nerfed his pistol, which used to do like 10% per shot. Now it does like 4%.
Wow, that's a huge nerf.
It's a big nerf.
Wow, it's on Ultimate. He did 10% in Ultimate,
Hmm.
and now it does 4%.
Yes.
Wow, that's was he really that OP? I felt like he's so grounded and he's so hard to,
Hmm.
especially his side B. How many times I've killed
He,
myself with his side B?
yeah, the reason the character was really good was solely because of that pistol. That pistol made him really good.
Oh,
But
okay,
now that they nerfed him, he really fell off
yeah.
a little.
Oh wow,
Yeah. So my go-to wing character, I actually like to play Link. That's when I really want to try to win games. I love playing Link. He's an awesome character, and I like the Zelda franchise too.
yeah.
So
Which Link?
I play that. I like playing Toon Link a
Toon
lot.
Link. Okay, does he have the
Yeah.
best projectiles? Is that who has the best projectile, or the
No,
best
I just like
bombs?
not really. I think he's the worst out of all three,
Oh,
but I
okay,
just like his design. To
his
be
design
honest,
is
that's
pretty
why I play
sweet. I did love Wind Waker. That was such a good
it.
game.
It was.
Hmm. And then yeah, Super Smash Ultimate. Are you excited about Banjo Kazooie? Are you excited about
Funny enough, I've
Dragon
never played
Quest?
Banjo or Dragon Quest. I've never played those two,
Yeah, I've
but
never played
do
Banjo
you?
Kazooie, and
Mhm,
because I didn't have an N64 growing up, and then
mhm.
uh, ever Dragon Quest, I played the newest one for like about 3 hours, and it was all right. I mean, it was an RPG, but I don't really the art style and the gameplay mechanics weren't exactly my speed. Even though I love RPGs, there's something wasn't clicking about it with me, and I hope I can go back and figure out what's so special about that franchise that people love about it.
Right, right.
Especially they just called him the hero. I was like, what? Like,
Well, yeah. Well, I think it's called the hero because you can play. I think he has like a different mechanic than any other character in the game, where it's like different characters with different kits at once. So
okay,
that's why it's called the hero. Because if you notice on the trailer gives them a set of abilities, but then they choose another hero, and that character has a different set of abilities.
yeah.
So
I thought it
I
was going to
think
be
it's
like
all.
Me Fighter, where you would choose
Mhm.
your abilities, or would it? You think it's color based, like which color you choose
I, I
changes your
think
abilities?
so.
Oh wow,
It's hard to tell, but it's very exciting.
yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure that each character has their own uh,
yeah.
fighting
And they have
mechanics
like I
and
think they had
abilities.
mana and stuff, and
Yeah, something like that.
that was really cool to see. I mean, they do a great job with everything. I mean, Joker. I've never played a Persona game, but now I want to play a Persona game just because Joker came out, and I'm like, I don't understand his character, but he looks really cool, and I like his like Final Smash, and I like his winning screen animation, and I kind of just want to see what that's all about now.
Hmm. Yeah, Joker's release was actually pretty nice. One of my friends that we play with Saturday mains him, and he's disgustingly good at him. We hate it.
Does he just wait for the power up? I don't even remember the guy's name.
Yeah,
His
Arsene. Yeah,
Arson.
he
Yeah.
waits for the power up. Actually, he baits us all because he baits us with the counter,
Oh
which
right.
charges up his
Yeah.
Arsene. And then with the new players that sometimes we play with, they don't know, right,
Yeah.
that he can do that. And so he just abuses the fact that, hey, hit me, and then I get my Arsene faster, and then he just kills him.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So that's how it works.
Some
No,
of
one of
the
my friends is really good at the game.
some of the start just watching. I mean, especially the fighting and Smash Brothers has always been this game that I think uh, the HGC could take some lessons. Could have taken lessons,
Right.
and then it was built from the ground up. It wasn't
Yeah.
inspired. Like Nintendo didn't go, okay, we have the Nintendo League here for Smash
Yeah,
Brothers, and there's so
definitely.
much. It's really cool to see. I mean, Smash Brothers I think is probably one of the biggest esports that is just kind of not even talked about.
Hmm.
Um, it's really good. Probably Is that the top fighting game? It's got to be the best fighting game esport.
I'm not sure, but I mean it's one of my favorites. That's
Yeah,
I only follow really things that I really like.
right. It's fun to
With
watch. Things you like.
definite.
Talking about things you like. StarCraft 2. You played this a lot. This is where you started
Oh yes,
for
yes,
streaming.
definitely. Hmm.
Um, what race did you play in StarCraft? What was your or I mean, yeah, what race?
So I originally started playing StarCraft when my brother introduced the game to me. I was around, I think I was like 10 years old or something like that.
Okay,
It
so we're
was the
talking about
first
original
StarCraft.
StarCraft. Okay,
It was about Brood War. That's when I started.
okay,
I only played against computers there, and I honestly played random. I didn't have a main race that way. I just played random. I used cheat codes and just have a good time, and that's
yeah,
pretty much it against the computers,
yeah.
right?
Was it Blood Gulch? No, Blood Gulch was Halo. What is There was
Uh,
a Bloodbath, right? It was on the this.
Bloodbath.
It was
Yeah,
the
exactly.
that was a fun map. That was the map that I would always
Hmm.
remember playing because I'm like, oh, I know exactly where they are. I can just put the cheat codes in and just send my army straight, and there's nowhere
Yeah,
they can hide.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm right next to them. It's great.
Yeah. No, StarCraft, my brother introduced me to that game. I played a lot of that game, played against the computers, played the story mode, the campaign, all of that.
Hmm.
It was very fun. But I only played it offline because I didn't know online even existed at that
Yeah.
at that time. So one day after middle school, I was just bored and I was like, I'm just gonna fire up StarCraft, right? And then I noticed this little ship that said online. And I was kind of curious what that was. So I clicked on it, and then my whole life changed right there.
Wow.
Um, yeah, that online experience was so much fun. I played a lot of it. I made a lot of good friends, even some friends that I'm still friends with them right now.
Yeah, I mean, like the
So
custom games and the just
yeah,
regular
definitely.
games.
So I started playing that a lot, and there I found out that man, this game is just amazing. There's like little mini games, custom games, and all that. And I wasn't really into the normal way to play anymore, the competitive side, right? And one of my friends decided to try and get good at the game, right?
Right.
And me, being a little kid, I decided to follow the same path and say, hey, I want to try to get good at this game too, right? So then that's when like all the esports starts like blowing up
Yeah.
for StarCraft. You see the tournaments and all that, and that's cool. I've never seen this before. I never knew that a video game can have a tournament.
Yeah.
Um,
And casters.
it's
Yeah.
and casters. They were treating it like a sport, and that was a new concept for me, the esports. So there, I started playing Protoss. That was my main race,
Hmm.
and the race was fun. I really sucked at it though. I really sucked at StarCraft One.
Did you have a strategy? What was? Do
So
you remember your strategy in StarCraft One? Like, what was your?
yeah, I used to cannon rush a lot. I was that guy.
You cannon rushed. Okay, great,
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
I was
because I
that
mean,
guy.
what else are you gonna do? You're not gonna have a. You're not gonna have
Exactly.
a real. You don't have a strategy. You're just like, I hope this works.
Exactly. I'm a little kid and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
So
I don't.
you
You
know
know,
what I'm gonna
right.
do? I'm just going to make cannon rush, or I'm gonna proxy my enemy and
Yeah.
make some gateways near the base and send zealots and make them mad and tell me to, screw myself.
Yeah. And zealots were so strong, so
Yeah, they
strong,
were. It
ridiculous.
was insane. But yeah, over the course of time, I started playing more StarCraft, and the competitive vibe it kind of died down on me. Where I'd rather just play for fun and play custom games, and then there I started playing less and less the normal game, which was called Melee at the time. So at the announcement of StarCraft 2, I was pretty excited because
Hmm.
I love StarCraft. I played that game a lot when I was little, and StarCraft 2 was coming out.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part was I was out of town that year, and I couldn't get my hands on the game a year later.
On Wings of Liberty, right?
So, yeah, Wings of Liberty. So I was very upset, and there I was just watching a lot of people play the game on either YouTube, or I had some friends even like Skype it through me so I
Yeah.
could see them play.
Oh my
Because I don't
god.
think Justin TV was out during that. Um, but yeah, I was so hyped up for it, and then I saw many guides on the normal play, normal 1v1s, and then there I started looking more into it, and then there my competitive sparked even greater there, and I wanted to compete again for StarCraft. And it
Yeah.
looked so much fun.
Yeah. And I remember, was it, I don't know, was it day 9 for Wings of Liberty? I mean, he was definitely making
Hmm.
stuff during Wings of Liberty.
Oh yeah, definitely him and Husky
Oh,
StarCraft and
Husky,
HD
yeah.
StarCraft. Yeah,
Hmm.
those were
Yeah,
the guys I loved
yeah,
playing.
Husky on YouTube for sure. I remember watching
Hmm.
so many videos and playing Wings of Liberty, and just like Wings of Liberty was amazing for me for just playing
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
And then so what happened? You played Wings of Liberty, and then Heart of the Swarm comes out, or did you were
Yeah.
you big in Wings of Liberty? Did you get to go to any
So,
tournaments? Did you go to do anything with it?
mm, so I started playing Wings of Liberty, and then the same thing happened to me with StarCraft One. My competitive spark died down again.
Okay,
There, I just started playing more with friends, and I started playing 2v2s, 3v3s,
yeah, those are always fun.
4v4s. That's it. I still haven't found my main race at that time, and a few weeks after release date, I decided that I really, really like playing Terran, and from there on, I became Terran main. So I started playing Terran a lot. I wanted to transition with Protoss from StarCraft One, but I just didn't like its playstyle how it was.
Yeah,
For some reason, it didn't click on me. Zerg never clicked on me either. I tried all the races out. And then one day I started playing Terran, and I was doing really good. It was the only race I started doing good. And then Terran, just like that, it clicked with me.
nice.
It was a calling. And
Yeah,
I started playing Terran. With Wings of Liberty, most of it, I think the highest ranked I ever reached was Platinum. And with that, I was pretty satisfied. Platinum was actually the highest rank for a time until they introduced Diamond League. And then after that, they introduced Masters. And then at the end of that season, they introduced Grandmasters. But I stuck with Platinum. That was my rank.
nice. Yeah, I don't even know. I think I was maybe gold, maybe something. I don't know what I was.
Yeah.
It's been so long, but yeah, that was, and yeah, 2v2s, 3v3s. Having like one person build, all right, you're gonna go build Reapers, I'm gonna build battle cruisers, and you're just like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, that's how we're doing this. One person's just going for battle
Yeah.
cruisers on one base. Okay, got it. And yeah,
The game itself for Wings of Liberty, it was such a blast. I love the game. Playing with friends, 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s.
mhm.
They're just memories that you just can't replace. They were so much fun.
Yeah, I go through my
Playing with
YouTube channel and find videos uploaded, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember doing this. Is so dumb. We're
Yeah.
so terrible at this game, but it's also really fun.
Yeah, it's good. They're good memories.
Hmm.
Now, the release of Heart of Storm, I believe I was in high school at the time. I think it was my senior year of high school. And that is where I even started seeing more friends play. I saw a lot of competitors in the tournaments, and that's where I was like, I kind of want to try to be competitive again, but this time I want to try to be dedicated and not give it up easily again, right?
Okay,
So I kept my promise. I started streaming my games for myself
on
so I can look back.
Justin.tv.
Mm-hmm, so I
Okay.
can look back and see what I did wrong. Because, yeah, I can look at the replays, right? But they're not really first person
Yeah.
where you see your clicks and everything. So the reason why I started streaming on Twitch was honestly for myself, so I can look and review my games and see how I can improve better at StarCraft.
Okay.
So Heart of the Storm came out. I started playing more and more, and then there is where I started growing Twitch or Justin, whatever it was at the time,
Yeah.
and I climbed up from Platinum to Diamond. That took like a few weeks. Then from Diamond to Master, which I was very excited about.
Yeah.
That took around 3 months to get. And then I finally reached Grandmaster a year later in Heart of Storm. And I was very, very happy
Wow.
getting
Yeah.
it. It was one of the biggest, most exciting things that I ever achieved in a game, for
Yeah.
me at least.
That's amazing.
It
Yeah.
felt good. Yeah.
That's so
And
cool.
there, I started streaming a lot more StarCraft, and then people would come in my Twitch here and there and just hang out, and it was a good time. I really, really liked playing that. And Heart of the Swarm was the prime time for me in StarCraft. I love that expansion. It was the best, in my opinion.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. It's funny because it's reminding me of Heroes, and I get Master and Heroes, and I never got Grandmaster. I got 6,000 points one season, but it didn't get me
Mm-hmm.
Grandmaster, and I was like, oh, all right, well, whatever, it's okay. But
Yeah.
when I tell people I got Master, and I'm like so proud of it, it's really it's funny to tell people that I've never played a video game, that have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
explain to them what I
Yeah.
did to get Master. So I
Yeah.
gotta imagine there's some of that with Heart of the Swarm when you talk to people and they're like, "Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
got it." Um, but that's so cool for
Yeah.
me to just to talk to you about it. It's so
Yeah,
it,
it's breathtaking. It's
yeah,
something that you never think you'd achieve. It's something you care about too, and when you achieve it, it just feels amazing.
yeah, and it's crazy to think that this is a pastime now. This is a I'm top, was it top 200? Is that Grandmaster?
Yeah, it was top 200. My highest ranking was around, I think, 124 or something like that.
Wow, for
The
North
highest rank
America.
I ever got. Yeah, North America.
Wow. That's really cool. And it's like you can like tell people, you can like drop it on a girl and she's just like what? You're like,
Yeah, like they don't
whatever.
understand.
I'm really proud of this. Whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really cool. I told my my dentist that I was top. I was in the. I don't know what master exactly is, but I think they released a thing for heroes, and it said like top 2% in North America. If you're in
Hmm.
Master League, you're in the top 2%. So I told my dentist that one day, and I was like, yeah, I hit Master a couple, and I'm top 2%. And she's like, oh, you're gonna be famous. She said to me. I was like, I don't think so.
Oh man,
But yeah, it's just really cool.
yeah,
It's
it's a good
crazy.
experience.
It's crazy the ranking system and how these games.
It really impacts you a lot too
Hmm
when you play and how you feel.
And then in June 2017, you got a sub button.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. How did that feel to get that
Uh,
sub button on Twitch? Did you feel like you were now working towards a sub? Did you want to start growing your stream, or were you just kind of like was it before that? Was it just kind of like a fun thing? Like I'm just streaming and like I'm more
yeah.
concerned about the
So,
game. I'm not concerned about the stream so much.
like I said, when starting streaming, I played the game more for I streamed more for myself,
Hmm
so I can review my games. And the more I did it, the more people came along, and I started liking it. I was doing it as a hobby, and I um I really liked it. I still had to go to school and all that, but it was a hobby. When I had time to do it, I do it, and it's fun. It's super enjoyable. I like interacting with people on chat. It's just a different experience. Like it's something new that you really haven't experienced yet, and by doing that, it just inspired me to do it more and more.
hmm
Although I never really had like big plans to ever be like a big streamer, and to this day I still don't have plans. I still do it as a hobby. I do it for
Yeah.
fun, and whatever happens will happens. Still, I don't want to let it go until, for some reason, like I just have to stop because of a job or school or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
it's
getting that sub button, oh, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. This streaming thing and playing games online and it's just interesting, this whole idea that, and I've talked to my cousin about this.
Mm-hmm.
He used to do a guide and stuff for World of Warcraft, and he had to stop. He ended up stopping because he said, I had to make that decision one day. Do I want to do something I love but doesn't make me like really any money, or do I want to do the thing that is like a good job and will make me money? And he's like, I had
Yeah,
to choose the good job. And it's really, he said, I wish I hadn't done that. Kind of, he was part of him wishes he hadn't. He obviously
yeah,
he's happy with his life and all that, but
yeah. But it happens to everybody
yeah,
too. Like sometimes if you're not making enough on something you like, you just have to adapt, and you need to change things up, even if you have to sacrifice some things.
Mhm.
Which I know for in the future I might have to sacrifice streaming and just stop it overall for a really good job or something.
Yeah, for sure. And
And
you
I
gotta make,
accept that.
yeah, you gotta make the best
And
decision for you.
mhm, exactly. Like I said, but in the meantime, while you can still do it, you try to provide the best content and have a good time. And just eh, what matters is now, and just
Hmm
enjoy yourself and have people enjoy themselves too watching you stream.
Yeah, for sure. So what was the sub button like? I'm sorry, I derailed us, but what
Hmm.
was getting that
Yeah.
sub button like? Did you feel? What
So
did you feel?
so getting that sub button felt amazing. It felt good. I got it around college, and that just felt really good. I was during a class when it happened, when I got the email that I was affiliated.
Yeah,
And I just had the biggest grin on my face too.
yeah,
And it was just so amazing. I could not wait to get out of class and just start streaming immediately.
yeah. You're gonna
It
get
was
that.
so
Someone's gonna
much
sub.
fun.
It's gonna happen immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Which it didn't, but
yeah. Right.
it is what it is. It still was a good and satisfying feeling knowing that, wow, you're part of this program that Twitch now uses, and it lets you get a stream of revenue that will help you as time goes on. Even if it's a hobby, you can still get money from it
Yeah, you
and
get a
get
little bit on the
monetized from it.
side. Yeah,
Exactly. So now it's not like back then where if you weren't a partner streamer, then streaming will be really hard because you can't really earn anything aside from donations.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Now that Twitch added this, a lot of small streamers and mid streamers, they can still continue doing this because it does pay off and it's monetized.
yeah. It's worth the small investment for the
So,
small return.
exactly. Even if people don't do it for the money, still, it's a big help because it lets them keep doing it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just fun, and then yeah, exactly.
Hmm. So
And
getting
then
the sub button was exciting, and I really enjoyed it.
and in April this year, you hit 700 followers.
Yes.
How'd you feel about that? How did
I
that?
felt exciting. I felt really, really happy too. And for one reason as well is because I stopped streaming StarCraft around 560 followers, somewhere around there, or around 600 followers or so. Let me check on that real quick. Yeah, okay. It was around like 520 followers.
Okay.
And I stopped streaming StarCraft. I announced it on my Twitter that I'm gonna stop playing StarCraft. I'm finally done with the game,
It was a Wings of
and I'm
Liberty. It
gonna
was out, right?
switch. It was when Legacy of the Void was out.
Legacy of the Void. Excuse me. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
meant.
three months into it.
And
Yeah,
you realized that it just wasn't the same. You had so
it wasn't the same.
this is what happened to me with Wings of Liberty, and then here's Heart of the Swarm, and that I realized this game is completely different. I have to figure out the whole meta game again and figure out my builds and all that. And I was like, I don't have the time to figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue with your 700
Yeah.
followers. I keep interrupting.
Yeah. So to me, getting those up to 700 followers was an achievement, a big achievement, because one, when I started streaming Heroes, I streamed for a year, and the only viewer I had was either me or my moderator, and that's it. And it kind of sucked that none of my followers from StarCraft 2 would come in and hang out, and none of that. And it sucked. It really sucked. And it kind of demotivated me to keep streaming. And I was a little bit upset with that. But little by little, I started growing more in Heroes, and my followers up to now from 520 were all followers from Heroes of the Storm. And that was just a good feeling to know that I can get people to watch and people who enjoy the content
Yeah.
to see me play Heroes. And that really just made me feel really happy. When I reached the 700, I honestly, I was very, very happy knowing that there's people watching Heroes for me.
And how many followers you got now? 740 is what you're at now. I see.
Yeah, something
awesome.
around there. Yeah,
Going for 1,000. Let's see it. I'm excited.
going for 1,000. That's the goal.
Yeah. So let's talk about some things before we get into. I want to talk to you a little bit about Heroes, like specifically. But before that, I want to ask you, and we already talked about, some Super Smash Brothers announcement, but like Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh yes.
What did you think about that?
So
that looked really interesting.
Announcement was very exciting, and I'm going to tell you a really quick story about
Absolutely.
the Nintendo Switch. I didn't get a Switch until Smash Brothers came out,
Okay.
but I saw the Breath of the Wild gameplay, and I was super excited to try it out. Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't have a Switch until Smash came out this December,
Yeah.
and Breath of the Wild was definitely one of the games. So Smash came out, and I only had money for one game. I decided to go for Smash. definitely. So I had to put Breath of the Wild on hold, even though I've been dying to try the game. I love Nintendo. I love their games. There's so many fun games coming up for the Switch right now, and it's, I think, the console to have right now
Yeah.
to have a good time. So when I saw the direct, at the very end when they said a sequel to Breath of the Wild, I was like, what? No way, they're making a second Breath of the Wild, and I haven't even played the first one yet. Right?
Yeah. Oh wow. So
So
you still
there,
haven't played the first one.
like, here's the thing.
Okay.
So a week, I think a few days after the direct, I messaged my friend, "Yo, did you see the new announcement of Breath of the Wild 2?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's exciting." And he's like, "Wait, you haven't played Breath of the Wild yet, haven't you?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't played it." So he offered to sell me his Breath of the Wild for $30, which was half off.
Yeah.
And I definitely took that deal. And to be honest, these past 4 days, I've been playing that game right now. I've been playing Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Currently.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
it's a fun game. I went into the game, open world and everything, and my god, it's
Yeah.
such a good game.
As long as you go into that game with the intent of not knowing what's going to happen and not like focusing on like a goal, like today I'm going to beat Ganon, because the whole point of the game is not to beat Ganon. Even the dungeons themselves are kind of not the point of the game. The point of the game is exploring and going over and picking up a rock and being like, what's under this rock? Oh, it's a bug,
exactly.
or oh, it's a Korok, or whatever. Like, and it's going across a mountain, and on the other side of the mountain finding something, and there's always something on the other side of the hill. There's always something, and yeah, what a great game.
Yeah, definitely. The exploration aspect of that game is just beyond amazing, and I absolutely love it. Like I said, I started playing it a few days ago, and I was just breathtaking. I was taking it in, and I loved everything about it.
Yeah, and the so for me, watching the Breath of the Wild announcement and seeing the creepy Ganon, it made me think of Majora's Mask versus Ocarina of Time, and how Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are built on the same engine, but they play very differently. Like Link controls the same way; he still jumps and moves around exactly the same way, but the rhythm of the game and the way you play the game, the way you go about playing, is different. They're not the same. And I'm expecting, that's what I expect with the Breath of the Wild sequel, to see something similar to Majora's, in that it's a different game. I don't know if it'll mean, less exploration, or if it'll mean,
an open world or any of that.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a really good game, so I'm excited. And then some people are talking about co-op maybe being a thing, because
I heard about that.
Maybe play as Zelda, or give someone a Joy-Con, they can control Zelda or whatever. Yeah, very, very cool. And then, go ahead.
I was to say, the game will look amazing, and I just can't wait for it either.
Have you beaten Ganon yet?
No, I started the game 3 days ago.
No, you can go from the starting area. As soon as you complete the starting area, you can go straight. You can go straight to him and beat him. Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, spoiler. Yeah, you can totally go right to him and beat him from the very beginning with the first items you get.
The branch.
Yeah, it's really difficult, but it's not. It's not impossible. So the speed runs, I think the speed runs for that game are down to 28 minutes. I think it's like. And that's just off the top of my head. It might be even lower with like some kind of hack. I know there's something you can do with an amiibo that allows you to get out of the starting area before even completing any of the stuff. But yeah, it's interesting, that game, for sure. Having beating all the divine beasts first is definitely better and makes the final fight a lot easier. But once you beat the final fight, all it does is just put you back in the game right before the final fight, and it just says, go keep exploring, and you're like, oh okay, cool. You just keep going. Great. Yeah, it's because the whole point of the game is the exploration. It's not the final battle. Although getting to Ganon and getting through the castle is if you don't look up a guide, it's actually pretty difficult. And I never looked up a guide for that game. Never do look up a guide.
I don't think I ever will, to be honest.
It's just great.
I like doing things on my own.
Yeah. All right. So I want to get into the meat of Heroes of the Storm, because I stopped playing Heroes after HGC came out, and I want to get back into it because I played it the other day and I had so much fun playing again. And it's just an idea of balancing what I want to play versus playing World of Warcraft. Anduin, Can you teach me Anduin?
Yeah.
Because I still have never played him. I'm scared to pick him up. He
So
has an 80-second cooldown on his passive, which is like uh, kind of a very long cooldown for his passive. How's it feel? How's Anduin feel?
yeah, so Anduin is a hero that well, first of all, being a healer main, that I love
Mm-hmm.
playing heroes.
Yeah.
Anduin kind of feels pretty okay. I started playing him a lot, and I thought he was going to be better than what I thought he was going to be. But what happened was I kind of feel like he's kind of lackluster. He's lacking quite a bit of healing than the other healers have,
His
and I
throughput.
feel like yeah, I
Okay.
think like there are better healers out there than Anduin. Overall, though, he's a fun hero. I love his playstyle, and he's so much fun. I just feel like he's currently kind of weak.
Okay.
A lot of people can disagree though, because there's some situations where yes, he can save people with his pull, or you can pretty much get a 5-man W, and then
Yeah.
your team gets a lot of burst healing.
Yeah.
But
If you're death balling, he's good. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. So overall, Anduin is a really fun hero. The only thing is that I just think he's kind of weak. A lot of other heroes overshine him,
Okay.
and I think he's not really that good into the meta currently, which is dominated by Anna, Lucio, and probably Alexstrasza.
Okay. Yeah. And Ana and Lucio are my like two go-to healers, so having them be
Oh
meta sounds amazing.
yeah.
Ever since Anna's grenade or her rework, where she, basically they gave her the press D and you can slow yourself for the piercing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I loved playing her before that, and then when they gave it to her, I'm in love. Is grenade build still the go-to? Is grenades the thing to go with?
Yes, currently, yes. I've been experimenting with other builds, and I really don't like much other builds in the grenade build. Starting out with the grenade build, it just gives you a lot of self healing and burst healing if the teammates are around you.
Yeah.
And overall, I think grenade build is just to go to. What I think is really strong though is the level 7 talent, which makes the grenade radius very large.
Right.
And there, when there's a big melee team fight going on, you just throw it in there, and your team burst heals, and the enemy team has no healing. And I think that's really, really strong.
Right. Yeah. The negative healing or the ability to remove healing as well as the insane amount of throughput that Ana has as a healer
Mm-hmm.
is one of the best moments of playing heroes, especially when you're in the middle of a team fight and you know that guy only lived because you hit every single one of your Qs over the last
Yeah.
15 seconds. And you're just like, yeah, that guy's alive because of me.
Yeah, and there's a clip of that of me too, where people made that. It was pretty funny,
Oh, really?
and it feels satisfying when you hit all your keys and he lives because you keep him alive because you hit everything.
Yeah. And then when someone dies because you missed one Q, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
like, how did I could have saved that
Either
guy?
either you flame yourself or your teammate flames you.
Why did you not heal me? And you're like, oh my God, you're Illidan, man, or you're Genji. I can't keep up with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Overall, the Anna rework, I really enjoyed it. It made her stronger, which kind of also made me upset because she got more popular,
Yeah.
and a lot of people started banning and picking her.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And her popularity really rose a lot. And I liked Anna even before,
Right.
so
Me too.
that kind of upsetted me.
I had YouTube videos of Ana and me and friend playing Gul'dan, and just Ana and Gul'dan together, and then fighting. I could fight tanks. I felt like I could fight other healers as long as I wasn't fighting a DPS person. I was able to like sustain myself with her Shrike. It was really interesting. Also, that vampiric rounds talent at level 1 is so bad. I don't.
It is.
It's
It's terrible.
it's such a trap talent, and like I see guides online telling you it's okay to pick vampiric rounds if you know. I'm like, what? This talent is
So,
horrible because it promotes a
so
gameplay that's just not good.
yeah. So I was thinking of taking that talent when the enemy had pure dive heroes, right?
Yeah,
And I was like, okay, so if people are just gonna attack me and dive me, I might as well just auto attack them, and I'll get more healing, right?
yeah, more sustain.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Why do that when I can just throw a grenade at their faces and I'll heal more for it either way?
Yeah, it's like 30% more healing on grenade or something at
Exactly.
level 1,
Mm-hmm.
and or you can
Yeah.
get like a little bit more healing on your
Mm-hmm.
vampiric rounds, which you have to stack up still.
Yeah. And overall, Anna's just really strong right now. I think she's one of the best healers in the game, if not the best healer in the
Yeah.
game right now.
And then Lucio, I saw you playing with Acceleranato. How'd you feel like
Ah,
that's it?
yes. Okay. So when Lucio got reworked, I didn't really like him at first.
Okay.
The way Lucio worked is you were a 5-man team powerhouse, which kind of meant that you needed to stay with your team and then you just buff your team up.
Okay.
That's it. You give them speed, you give them healing, and you just stay around your team, which was kind of a boring playstyle because you're, kind of in the back. You can kind of boop
Yeah.
people if like you pass over them and all that, but mainly you're just there to buff and help your team get stronger. That's pretty much how it was and how Lucio played. And I like that play style. It was fun. And sometimes I go to autopilot mode, and it's Lucio. That's my hero.
Yeah.
To play autopilot.
Yeah.
With the current rework, I didn't like it because it promotes less of that playstyle, and you could still do it, but it's less of it.
Yeah. It's not
And then
not
he's
passive.
slower, exactly, and he's slower now. So you kind of feel like you're not really gonna do much aggressively, and it feels like you're still gonna be a backline powerhouse for your team.
Okay.
But I was wrong because once you take Accelerando and you start wall riding, with a new talent that's called push off, you can make many, many plays with that hero. And it's insane.
Yeah.
You can be very aggressive. You can be an annoying little bug, and that's his true purpose now, I think.
Yeah.
I believe that his true purpose, being looser right now, is you want to interrupt rotations. You want to be annoying. You want to keep booping people
Yeah.
over and over again, and just making sure that they waste their abilities on you while you dodge them with
Yeah.
wall
That's
ride.
100% how I played him before the rework.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And
with it, I just imagine playing him as a tracer that also had healing. Like that's like
exactly.
that's how I felt. Is like I'm just gonna annoy them. I'm not gonna commit to any fight. I'm just gonna be obnoxious and just use
Yep.
my healing. And
The,
that sounds amazing.
the thing though, before the rework, he didn't have his push off talent, so you really couldn't get in there and make plays. But now you can. You
Yeah.
can go on the wall. You can wall ride and
Is this
press your trait,
is it still
slow
25
somebody.
armor?
I think it's 20 armor
It's 20 armor. Okay.
at the level, but it's a level 6. No, it's a level 13 talent.
Right.
But yeah, you get on the wall, you push off, you slow somebody with that push off, and then you boop them into your team, and then there you go.
Yeah.
You get a kill. And then you just run away and circle around back to your team. Which I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's such a fun play style. And you can still you can play it half and half. You can be aggressive, and then you're like, all right, I know I can't be aggressive here, so I'm just gonna go in the back and be a powerhouse for my team, and that's it. So both playstyles can be played at the same time, and I love it. It's a fun character design, and I'm really glad with that rework. It definitely changed my opinions of Lucio,
Gotcha.
and that's why I play him a lot more.
The one talent level 1, and I forget it. For when you auto attack, you get mana back. That's the only for me when I look at that talent versus Acceleranato, I just look at that and I think also of the 16 talent where you can the more you attack, the faster your cooldown goes.
Mm-hmm.
With those two combined, I felt like I needed to have that mana return so that I could constantly spam my spells more.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the normal go to build I like to take. I run 2 builds with Lucio. One depending if it lets me be aggressive and one not. And those talents that you mentioned, I don't think they're worth it.
Okay.
I never take them, and I don't think they're worth it.
Okay.
One of the builds is more of a backline build, like I said, Powerhouse Lucio, where you take Accelerando still. You take the ability, I think it's called Subwoofer, that one.
Yeah.
Then you take
The
Reverse Amp.
boombox.
I like Reverse Amp because if
Okay.
you're with your team and you're
Oh right,
diving, you
subwoofer
can slow them.
is his boop one. Yeah, that's right. Level
Yeah,
4.
exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, Reverse Amp is pretty good now, level 7. 13, I like to take I think it's called All Together, which just gives you insane amount of movement speed.
Okay.
And then 16, Rejuve. I always take that. I think that's one of
Rejuvenecia.
the best
Yeah.
talent. And the 20, I like to take House Party, which the more people you have inside your healing radius, the more you heal, which is really nice. Gives you a lot more sustain.
Gotcha.
Right.
He's
The other build I like to run is more of a very aggressive build, which you still take Acceleronda. Then you take a talent called uh I forgot what it's called. I believe it's called Push Off. Let me go check real quick what it's actually called.
sure. Yeah, I'm looking myself.
And I believe it's a talent that when you press Q when you're riding a wall, the cooldown of your boop gets reduced to like 2 seconds.
Yeah, off the wall. Hitting an enemy
Yeah,
with
off
sound
the wall.
wave while wall ride is active reduces its cooldown by 3 seconds.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, no, that one. Definitely that one. And then you combine it at level 7 with the shield one, which is a Q, which I also forgot what it was called.
Yeah, good vibrations.
Yeah, good vibration. So there, that lets you be way more aggressive.
Oh
You can
wow.
go ahead and you go wall ride somebody, and then you boop them. You get a shield. Then you come back, you boop them again, get a shield, and then you just interrupt rotations. You're an annoying little bug. They try to
Wow.
throw all their abilities at you, and then there you're doing your job, and that's what Lucio does. That's one of my favorite builds to take.
I
And
kept
then the
taking
rest,
reverse
yeah,
amp and boombox for that level 7. I actually never looked at good vibrations. That's really cool.
yeah. So good vibrations, just like in case you get caught out or in case somebody auto attacks you, then that shield just gets rid of it. You're good to go.
Yeah. Then
And
giving him reverse amp at 7 was interesting.
yeah, it is. It's still pretty good talent, though, I think.
For sure. See, I would always
And
taking the smooth moves one to get my wall ride, and then I would take that 16 one up the frequency to get it off
mhm,
more often, and then I would take reverse amp so that I could do more damage more often, so that I could
yeah.
boost it up more often. But again, it's probably not very good against good people. It's just fun to like when
Mhm.
when you're against people that are not going to like actually attack you. It's really fun to have that be that aggressive.
Right. Overall, that's my two builds I run with Lucio, and I like him. He's always been one of my favorite characters or healers to play.
And sound barrier versus high five. Do you just depending on the
Sound
matchup?
barrier is still good.
Sound barrier.
High five, it's pretty much a troll because you have to, like, you're forced to go to a teammate. So you high five someone, you click on them, you run at them, which puts you in danger too.
Yeah.
I think the talent would be good if it also gave you unstoppable while you high five somebody.
Yeah.
At the current state, you high five someone. Well, guess what? You die instead
Yeah, I'm
of him.
surprised that the level 20 upgrade doesn't give you unstoppable as well.
So I do believe that Summer is just the go-to still, and
Yeah.
high five is more of a
Unless they have a variant kind of thing.
yeah, or Chromie that temporal loops you. Then that's
Yeah.
good.
All right. Well, that's awesome, man. Is there anything you want to talk about? There's anything you're excited about coming up soon on your stream or on your anything in your personal life that you're excited about?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm about to go to Mexico for a month and a half, and
Are you going to be
that's
streaming from Mexico?
exciting. That's what I'm gonna attempt to. I'm gonna attempt to stream. I'm not sure if I can.
Okay.
We still don't know if we can get the internet there, but hopefully I can. If not, I might have to take a month and a half break from streaming, which is unfortunate. I don't want to do, but
Yeah.
things have to get done there.
Yeah, that
So
sounds exciting though.
it is.
To go to, I mean, obviously to a different country is
Yeah,
exciting.
I have a lot of family there, and we try to go every year. I just never streamed there in my life.
That's awesome. Just family's great, man. Always
Yeah,
seeing
it is.
families is one of the best things you can do in life, and it's
Definitely is.
honestly super wholesome and
Hmm.
makes you feel good.
Yeah, and then I'm just excited to keep playing Heroes. I'm excited for the new rank changes that are coming up next season. That should be
Right,
really fun.
right. Showing
And
MMR and
yeah, and I'm getting ready for next season overall. All of that is exciting. I still love playing Heroes. I think Heroes is a really great game. It can get frustrating at times, but
yeah,
overall, if you get frustrated, like play with friends and all that. And then if you don't want to play with friends and you want to get good at the game and win games, I'd say try not to look at your rank too much and just look at your self improvement.
yeah,
There's
absolutely.
always going to be something that you do wrong in a game. For example, every time I play, um, let's say I'm playing Stukov, and then I say I want to get a W stack on Diablo, but I walk up and I press W on him, then he catches me, and I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. I
Yeah,
shouldn't have stepped up
yeah,
to Diablo, especially, and gone that stack. I should have waited for him to charge and then press W. So you always get those moments where, yeah, it's frustrating, but honestly, I could have done something better too, and I could
Right.
have improved on it. So you look at your mistakes and you improve from those.
Yeah. I think Heroes, the moments I realized, like, how it, at some point, the game shifted from being like, how do I use my abilities in this team fight to how long can I wait before arriving at the team fight? Or how
Mm-hmm.
long can I wait before? It's almost like a time, like, okay, we're getting this camp, or I have to go get this XP. Even as the healer, you don't really want to soak. You want your team to do that. But it was always
Yeah.
this like thing of getting better at the game was always the thing that made me better and rise up quicker was realizing like, okay, what are they gonna? Are they a dumb team? Is this my team dumb right now? Am I gonna have to be with them constantly? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna be with them constantly. And realizing those moments, like, okay, I only have 3 seconds, so it takes them. The thing spawning in 45 seconds takes me 15 seconds to get from mid lane down over there. So I know that I have this much. And like all those little moments is really
Mm-hmm.
where the game takes off and really shines as a game for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel the exact same way, and I just love Heroes of the Storm. It's a fun game.
Yeah, it's great.
It kind of sucks that what happened at HUC, but what I'm really glad about is that they're still developing the game. They're still making content for it,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope they keep doing that.
Yeah. Who do you want to see as a hero in the next?
Um, I honestly don't really have a big opinion who I want as a hero. I mean, I really like anybody that's
Yoshi?
from the Blizzard universe. Yoshi. I would say I think my biggest guess would be a cyclone unit or a Goliath unit from StarCraft. I really like using those things.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Like
Goliath.
they
I
already
mean,
have them as a merc camp, so
yeah, and they have Diva's Goliath skin, but I mean that hasn't
mm-hmm.
stopped them from making any other like Nova obviously has an Amazon skin,
Yeah.
and then Cassia came out. But yeah, Goliath would be sweet. I don't know what they would
Yeah.
do because oh man, just making me thinking about it. Like, because Goliaths were really good against air, and then they were okay against ground. But how do you differentiate that in a video game that doesn't have air units? Like, I guess you just give them two different abilities. You give them a missile ability and an
Mm-hmm.
auto attack that's machine guns. Anyway, a lot of that does sound cool. I would like to see a Goliath unit.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much. I don't have really anything else. I mean, if you guys have not yet followed Frostywind on Twitch, go follow him. And then on Twitter, it's at FrostWindSC. Definitely check him out, please. He's great. He's going to be gone in Mexico for a month, but I don't know what time you're listening to this podcast, so you could be later, could be back. But go check him out. Go watch him. And then make him over. Come on, guys. He's 750 followers. We need 1,000. We need 1,000. Let's get it.
Thank you so much, Yaman. I appreciate you having me here. It was really fun, and we definitely should do it again.
Yeah. I gotta have you back on. It's gonna be great. So awesome. Thanks, man. That's it, boys. We're done. Episode 3 is done. Frostywind, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for everybody for listening. I'm Jamin. I've got a couple things I want to do real quick before we cut out of here. Please follow me on Twitter at Jamin the Shaman, youtube.com/Jamin the Shaman, twitch.com/Jamin. Those are all the places you can find me. Please go there. Please check it out. Please look. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you next Saturday. Have a great evening. Have a great life. Have a great morning.